Welcome, everybody. We're going to get the show on the road. My name is, go ahead, you can clap. The show, clap for the show. My name is Dave Hall. That's Chris Kingsley back there. He and I co-host this monthly Poets Corner series. Yippee! And as you could tell, we're kind of informal, and the goal is to have fun. So you came to the right place if that's why you're here. So the featured poet gets 20 minutes to read, and following that, there'll be an open mic. If you haven't signed up for the open mic and change your mind, just raise your hand, and we'll accommodate you. This is our last Poets Corner event until March. So thank you for coming, and we appreciate your attendance. And there's a lot of people who are new and others who keep coming and can't stay away, and we appreciate everyone. So thank you. So let me introduce John J. Herman, and let me read you his bio. John Herman grew up in the outskirts of New York City. He received a doctorate in English literature from the University of California at Berkeley and has taught at the Sorbonne and the University of Massachusetts in Boston. He then worked in Manhattan as an editor, first at Simon & Schuster, then at the editorial director at Weidenfeld and Nicholson, and then at Ticknor and Fields, a division of Houghton Mifflin. For 15 years, he was the associate director of the graduate writing program at Manhattanville College. Besides poems, essays, 2 picture books, and a chapbook of poetry, Herman has published 4 novels. The Weight of Love, selected by Publishers Weekly as one of the best novels of the year, and The Light of Common Day, both Nan Talese Books, as well as Deep Waters and Labyrinth, both Philomel Books. Mr. Herman resides with his wife in New York City and Canaan, New York. They have 2 daughters and 6 grandchildren. Please welcome John Herman.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be here with you. I'd just like to introduce my wife, Ronnie, who's sitting right there, my wife of 60 years. We were, Judy Allen and Ronnie and myself were at high school together. So, and my publisher and editor, Naomi Rosenblatt, who's sitting right over here with her mother. Okay, I'll just start reading some of these poems. If I don't get myself tangled up in my glasses. The book is called Adam's Dream and comes from a quote by John Keats, which many of you probably know. The imagination may be compared to Adam's dream. He woke and found it true. So my notion was that, first of all, I was inspired by that. And I wrote 5 or 6 poems in a section of this book called Adam's Dream, in which I tried to think of what Adam was dreaming about. He was dreaming about the world, and what a surprise, he was dreaming about Eve. He woke and found Eve to be true. This is all given in the Bible and in Milton, and a section of Milton which has always moved me is that after Eve has fallen, Jehovah says, well, she's fallen, she needs to go, but you can stay. And he thinks about that for about a nanosecond, like most of us, and will say, no, I can't do that. I'm going to go with Eve. So with that, most of these poems do not directly reflect that, but some of them do. Here's a poem that's called The Poem with a capital P. Slowly, the poem accumulates. A cycle of spring and winter, a succession of names and places, of tears and mucus and babies. The eye makes love to the world, while overhead the sky shoots like glass. This is the poem, capital P. The accretion of rings, as in a redwood, we thicken like sclerosis, thought like dogma, inspiration into repetition, insight into ideology. But the poem persists. It gathers to its perfection of imperfection. It sings like a chorus of boys. It lies down in your arms. It whispers like a gentian. It whirs like a spinning wheel. It fills up the world. Now, where to go next? I worked out an order, but to heck with the order. I'm just going to. This is a poem called Hurled. Greening now fills out the world into its fire of green, in which we're hurled joyfully, hopefully, burningly, as when the youthful poet reaches for a pen, and all is music. As we hope to be, if all is consummated mercifully, although we don't deserve such consummation, dancing in greenness in exfoliation, like the greening, budding, springtime world, into which, like stones, we've all been hurled. Unfortunately, it's not greening out there, it's browning. But here's a poem called What He Knows. This is a sonnet. I try to read sonnets so you don't know they're sonnets. A problem with English is that most of the rhymes are used up. So you need to be careful with how you weave them. He knows the sun. He knows the wind that's heard beating the bushes like a child's stick. He knows the moon by sight alone, just like a beauty passing without a word. Darkness he knows, which is the rounded dark where stars appear, and the tripart moon, and summer weather with its green that soon turns red, turns bronze, turns brown as peeling bark. He knows the tug and tension of his breath, huffing and puffing in right utterance. Yet utterance itself makes little sense. He is foreclosed. He cannot know his death. He knows the kingdom that is his to keep only the briefest while twixt sleep and sleep. Let's see what I come up with now. Climb upward, poet, till you see the world in its vast symmetry, curving beneath in groves and fields like the sight the ocean yields when the sun beats on the waves in sparkling points in darting waves, ordering in rows the eye to see the marvel of such mystery. Thus nature with its arts will set throughout its living alphabet, behind which dwells the final source, ultimatur, true discourse. This is just called simple. Now that summer has come, you wear again the colors of summer. Leaves scribble in air, bird song hides in light. The scent of lilacs trails like the hair of a girl. Even at 70, it is remarkable. No surprise. So it has always been. You fill the eyes, delightful any time, wearing the color of summer. What is this? This I call provincial. And what I might mean by it is that seeing is provincial. We see what we can see, not what the other person sees. And I mean that not just metaphorically, but physically. What we see is our little provinciality of the world. This is the corner of the world that is your own, the provincial, the only one you'll ever see. It is the universal algebra that gathers all particulars. Snowfall over the Catskills, sunlight on the Atlantic, the Parisian arrondissement darkened in rain. Here is the familiar collected in its peculiarity, the twisting staircase, the dusty lane running to town, a circle that is your private eye, repeated like birdsong, like syllables in a nursery rhyme, an opportunity, a necessity, a way of knowing, a way of saying your name. Thank you. One writes these poems in the provinciality of one's own eye, and it's a great privilege to share it with people who like it, as I will presume, and don't disillusion me. All right, here's Adam's dream. One of these poems. Adam dreamt the world. He dreamt the sun and stars, the ripple of water and the crash of waves. He dreamt the lightning and the bass of thunder, the taste of honey and the odor of baked bread. Adam dreamt the clouds that slowly pass, casting their shadows. He dreamt the multi-seasons in their endless track across the mind. He dreamt Eve, lovely as weather. When she touched him, she gathered the world about him like a shawl. She was the heat of sun and scent of rain, the home to which he came at end of day. Thus Adam dreamt the world, the generations passing in their interconnectedness. He dreamt the wonder and the horror and the beauty, and when he awoke, he saw that it was true. I'll read another one of these poems. This is about the incident that I just said, which Milton may have made up. That is to say, Adam was given the choice of staying with his wife, Eve, in case you forgot her name, and or going to paradise. Adam said yes to Eve, and so he fell. For what is mortal is but passingness. For what is mortal is but passingness. And love between the sexes is all well and good, but mortal as the vessels that possess. That heady mixture. For we are told, and I believe it true, that nature itself is governed by love, whose strong and manifold persuasion guides and binds each budding sheaf of being, from Adam to God. Adam said yes to mortal Eve, and so he chose mortality, our human destiny. From out eternity, the transcendental rose. For we are our nature, and our nature is party to nature, not transcendent bliss. This is called The Calling. As the sirens called to Ulysses, and their hair twisted about them in lightest brightness, these images crowd the page, this way of saying these things you came to say. Step now into the sun where traffic blares, the labyrinth of days astray in mid-direction, noises, women's voices, letters, lost questions, misplaced expectations, women, children, infants traveling in fear and trembling down corridors into the light, the beat and heat of love, inadequate love. And this is, if I declare that God is love, it is the poem that knows what of it's speaking, not the mortal man, whose life is but the average span of nonsense and absurdities. Not equal to such words as these I set down here, which I inferred, not from myself, but from the Word. By the way, Dave, I don't know what time it is. Cough. When,
You got, let's see, 13 more minutes?
Great.
Carry on?
Great. I throw something when it's luminous. The flowers shine in light. Within fast days, now certain slow decline. They are small flames, but only to such sight as see them so, as the shades refine the green and gray into the gathering night. It gathers in the mystery of the darkness that in dark reveals the light, revealing light by means of its own darkness. And the hedge, the long gray grass, the leaves collect the dark light as a watch its time, so that in darkness brightness still may shine, like light on ocean after the sunlight leaves. But now the light of green turns purple-gray as water's blue turns slowly to opaque, and what the eye beholds for darkness' sake is light gone down to darkness for the day. These things that get thrown away, another sonnet. These things that get thrown away, old broken bricks left from a bookshelf. My college days where we'd make the bookshelves with old bricks, it must be familiar to most of us. Like broken bricks left from a bookshelf, a dull paring knife, embroidery belonging to your wife when she was young, rag dolls, pick-up sticks, toys the girls would play with, your mother's pin, your mother. Photographs never taken save by the fading brain, mistaken ambitions from a game you couldn't play, you couldn't win, from a game you couldn't win or never cared to play. What did you play? Husband, brother, father, son, exhaustion. From races that you ran or didn't run, handfuls of confetti, handfuls of dry hay, handfuls of clay still warm or otherwise, cooling in ovens where the bread won't rise. This is a sort of a longer poem, not very long. I don't write long poems. But it's called To the Lighthouse, and it's a small meditation, small on Virginia Woolf's masterpiece, thinking about time and death. Small things. Yeah. In Virginia's great novel, light passes down walls, off waves, out of Lily Briscoe's painting. Such is the nature of the eternal, counted in the mensuration of the actual, the palpable pulses of time. It is a heart in which we live, a home, a chamber in the breast, a warm muscle of birth and dying. We move within its music, and its chords compose our daily life, our living hours of breath and presence and visibility. Its pulse is not the pulse of regnant time. Regnant is in royal. It's not the pulse of regnant time, the incommensurate, the overarching diaphragm of the that which is, but short time's fleeting measurement, incarnate passingness, the human form of what we see and love. We dwell within the circulation of its blood, the breathing world as you might hold a trembling dove between your hands. It is an aging woman who lies down to be caressed, having herself once been young and beautiful, who now is beautiful and old. Such are the transformations of fleet time, which lend their time's lineaments the inspiration of the actual, like evening light falling across a wall. Its vagrant susurrations count the counterpoint of time's transfigurations, the time in which we all can have our being and our home, the time in which Mrs. Ramsay knits and loves and dies. Never believe it is immortal. It is our human isthmus, our peopled isle, the sinuous echoing sounds like those that echo in the flickering sonogram. Time's length is time's short distance written across a lawn. Its countless beams, those tom-tom beats, beat out the murmured step of passing time of all our days and ways. And so, within the somber moments of duress, count out the strokes of human passingness, within whose dark and certain stillness death itself shall pass, shall surely pass. That last line is mysterious to me because it can mean either death itself will pass and be no more, or that you will pass with death. And guess which is right and which is wrong. The poem doesn't answer. All right, one or two more. The fullness of green is what the eye can see. It puffs the trees, it fluffs the bushy leaves. Nor is it what the mind alone perceives, but existentially so, the power to be. Let's call it the miracle exoteric, the Ouroboros that can bite its tail, the old mythological symbol of a snake going around and biting its tail. It's sort of the world running after itself. Let's call the miracle exoteric, the Ouroboros that can bite its tail, green as summer filling out its sail, then disappearing like a candle wick. The fullness of time is something else entire, the mystic vision of transcendent air that is not here and yet is everywhere, consuming earth in esoteric fire. Between the two, the world is rounded being, both what we see and what we are not seeing. One more, I guess. This is a little bit longer, but I like it. It's good to like your own poems, or what the heck are you doing? This ecstasy, this long-drawn otherness, what is it if not the common grass that grows beside the wall? This sound, this touch, this taste, this fine repletion of the eye, the willing tongue, this brimful seeing of the light of day, as if these things were flesh and butter, were words that make the signs that are the things transformed, as seasons are, as colors are, by the imagination at first sight. I'm speaking soberly, as bird talk is, which can but speak its need, like poetry, speaking the need that makes it speak the poem, that makes it say the actual. Here again, I'm going to interrupt. I know I was writing something I liked when I had that line. I'm speaking soberly as bird talk is. It's, okay. Speaking the need that makes it speak the poem, that makes it say the actual, thigh, rib cage, skull, lying amid the grass in some small field where insects chug and chitter in the sun. I want to say this fact, this otherness, as in a world composed of flesh and bone, which is the case, the world we're speaking of, the world of skin and blood and brooding death, the death that holds dominion over all, mind, the thrust of mind, the need of mind, the thrusting, needing mind of all of us, the lost, the mortal, crying, needful voice, a braying mule, a wailing newborn child. It is the cry of women in their need, laughter of playgrounds, raucous cough of men, a rusty gate that swings, a swinging gate. I want to say the world, and this I say not as the ocean does, or splintering tree, or biting fire, or cold, but as the wind that leans against a wall, a crumbling wall, a skull of fox or crow, a glacial scree of upright boulder, a bare and windswept hill. Thank you, Faye, very much. Thank you. Thank you, my darling.